Hey, everyone. It feels like smartphones are just everywhere in kids' lives these days.
Absolutely everywhere.
And I think a lot of us wonder, okay, what's all that screen time actually doing, especially to their mental well-being? So that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We want to give you a clear look at the big picture.
Right. We're digging into the significant ways smartphones seem to be affecting children's mental health. We've looked at, recent studies, some expert analysis, and even how different countries are starting to react.
So the core question is really, what does the evidence tell us about the key impacts and what actions are being taken?
Exactly. That's the goal for our deep dive today.
Okay, so let's jump into some of that evidence. There was a study out of Lahore, Pakistan that caught my eye.
Ah, yes, I saw that one too.
It seemed to find a link, right, between kids using smartphones over 2 hours a day and, more behavioral and psychological issues.
It did. And, that figure over 2 hours, it sounds quite specific, but it does align with broader concerns we're seeing elsewhere.
So it's not just an isolated finding then?
Not really, no. We're also seeing research suggesting that adolescents who develop, let's call it problematic smartphone use, they show higher rates of things like mood disturbances, even depression.
Okay.
And here's something really interesting to think about. That connection. It seemed even stronger for students who weren't physically active.
Oh, wow. So, being inactive makes the phone effect worse? Or maybe the phone use leads to less activity. It's a bit chicken and egg, isn't it?
It could well be a bit of both. It definitely suggests that physical activity might be a protective factor, perhaps, or that sedentary screen time displaces movement. Something to consider.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not just the scream at what you're not doing. Okay, so zooming out from specific studies, how are, say, governments reacting? I heard about France.
Yes, France is a key example. They've put out some pretty strong recommendations, basically restricting smartphone use for kids under 13.
Under 13, okay.
And being cautious about social media access right up until 18. Their main concerns are focus, attention span, sleep disruption, and just overall cognitive development during those crucial years.
Right. And Brazil's taken action too, haven't they?
They have, quite decisively, actually. A new federal law there prohibits smartphone use inside schools.
Inside the school building itself?
Correct. The main drivers there are reducing distractions in the classroom and supporting student mental health during learning hours. It shows how seriously some places are taking this.
It really does signal a widespread concern. So if we see these effects and governments are reacting, what's actually causing the harm? It can't just be the time spent looking at a screen, surely.
No, you're absolutely right. It's more complex than just hours logged. Several factors seem to be at play. One big one is the content they're exposed to.
Right. Inappropriate stuff.
Exactly. Seeing things that are violent, sexualized, or just negative can definitely ramp up stress and make kids feel more vulnerable.
And then there's the social side, cyberbullying.
A huge issue. Online harassment, intimidation.
Yeah.
It can have really severe psychological consequences. We're talking anxiety, depression, plummeting self-esteem, nasty stuff.
Yeah, really damaging. And what about sleep? I know even as an adult, scrolling before bed is not great for me.
It's a major factor for kids, too. That blue light from screens, it messes with our internal clocks, our melatonin production. So using phones close to bedtime, it directly impacts sleep quality. And poor sleep leads to mood swings, trouble concentrating. It affects our whole day.
Okay, so the evidence seems pretty clear on the risks. Given all that, what can parents or even educators actually do? It sounds a bit daunting.
It can feel that way, but the research points towards some practical strategies. Setting really clear boundaries is key.
Like rules around usage.
Yes, when and where phones can be used.
Yeah.
And especially establishing tech-free times or zones. The bedroom's a big one, particularly in the hour or two before sleep.
Makes sense. Get the phone out of the bedroom. What else?
Encouraging regular physical activity. We touched on that link earlier. Getting kids moving helps balance out that sedentary screen time. It's good for their bodies and their minds.
Take them outside, playing sports, whatever works.
Exactly. And maybe the most crucial thing, fostering open communication.
Just talking to them about it.
Yeah. Creating a space where kids feel safe, talking about what they're doing online, what they're seeing, any worries they have, without judgment.
So it's not about banning phones outright necessarily, but being much more mindful and proactive.
Precisely. Look, smartphones have benefits. We know that.
Yeah.
But understanding the potential downsides for kids' mental health and putting some proactive strategies in place, That's how you help make tech a tool that serves them well, rather than causing harm.
That's a really helpful way to frame it. Okay, this has certainly given me, and hopefully you listening, a lot to process. So maybe a final thought to leave you with. Thinking about everything we've discussed, what's perhaps one small but significant adjustment you might consider making when it comes to kids and smartphones in your own world? Something to mull over.